me lover.
Hello, how are you?
I'm Gert Lesh. I'm in Bristol, innit?
Oh, Bristol, home of slavery. Oh,
Hello from Bristol,
wow.
home of things.
Home of the Commonwealth Museum. Isn't the Imperial and Commonwealth Museums there, isn't it?
Yes, and Clifton Village, which is an entire set of Victorian London, as far as I can tell.
And was Bernie Clifton from there?
Bernie Clifton? Is
Yeah.
that who he's named after?
Yes.
That makes sense. That does make sense.
So,
Yeah.
am I right in believing that this is the halfway point?
Yes. In fact, this very minute that we are speaking, I have been a lycra hobo for 1 week.
I mean, like, but yeah. So
What a week, eh?
But distance-wise, is it halfway now?
Well, yes and no.
What does that mean? Oh, well, yes, according to official thing, but no, because no one really knows how long the Monarchs way is.
Yes and no. Should we start with a bombshell or shouldn't we end with a bombshell?
Oh, no, let's start with a bombshell, because I'm sure another one will emerge while we're
let's
speaking.
start with a bombshell.
Go on.
We've been doing science, and I'm sure you're aware we've got a very low-tech tracker on my back that sends a ping every 2 minutes to satisfy armchair experts. But actually, it's not very accurate at all. Within those 2 minutes of the pings, I could juggle, disappear to Lanzarote, become a triathlete, and then run back 1 minute 59 later, and no one would know. My Garmin on my wrist is much more accurate, so we're using that for the actual route and the data, which was always the plan anyway. So we've been uploading every night, just really to save the data to the Garmin Connect account, whatever it is, in sort of 40-mile chunks. And we got to Wick today,
right,
which is just outside Bristol, as is it would appear from the Monarchs route everywhere, in that we spent basically the whole day skirting around Bristol before we've got the balls to go in. And Wick, according to the book, is 275 miles in.
Right.
Would you like to guess, after a few errors and pub diversions at McDonald's and a moment where I just lost my mind and walked the wrong way for about 5 minutes, would you like to guess how many miles we've actually done?
Oh, I don't know. It's difficult to tell over that period of time. Would you have done a whole extra marathon?
Keep going.
A 50-miler?
That really would be epic, wouldn't it? 305.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You've added an extra, 30 miles to it?
10%.
10%?
10%.
That's about...
Now, 10%.
Wait a minute. That's about a centurion, isn't it? Yeah, that's just like the Thames Path 110.
It's just... All it is basically, it's like, listen, you've Grand Slam centurions, you've done all the hundreds and the 50s, they're just about to hand you the belt buckle, and Elson goes, oh, Christ, we've forgotten to do the Isle of Wight 50, you've got to do that. Could you just, bang it out now? So the bombshell is, assuming the rates of errors are the same in book 2.5 and 3, it's a 700-mile route.
Oh, my goodness.
I know, which in itself moves us into new territory, because I can now relentlessly abuse Damo Hill online, which I have been, because he's got Southwest Coastal Path FKT for 630 miles, and the last thing he said to me before I set off was, don't find an extra few miles and make your trail bigger, I'll be annoyed. So yeah, if we extrapolate forward, and based on some of the stuff I've got from, because when I did all the recce's last year, I didn't have all the data, and the reason I didn't have all the data was because I was going out there to recce a route. I wasn't going out to map it.
Yeah.
And I would make notes about where water was and blah blah blah. But my Garmin that I had at the time only lasted 6 or 8 hours.
Yeah.
And then it would need charging. So if I was out wrecking, I'd run it for 8 hours in the tricky areas. And in places I suspect it might be easier, I'd have it on charge in a power pack in my back for a couple of hours and then put it back on, turn it back on again. So I've got missing bits. But all the wrecking I did last year, it kept coming back to me that time and time again, this route's longer than they think, like a lot longer. And I always used to say, I think it's like 5 or 10% longer. So yeah, it could be a 700-mile route. So that's good, isn't it? I don't really know. It'll be a death match now between the Celtic Way and the Monarchs Way Ultra and the Monarchs Way. They'll have to battle it out for biggest route. I don't know. What do you do? Do they do sudden death if it comes to a tie? I mean, how do you? I
don't know. Maybe you have to do an ultra off again, or just repeat it again.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, does anyone care?
The depressing element.
This matters to you, doesn't it? Like, this matters as to.
I can't even. No, I can't get my head around it, Jody. You're talking to somebody who can't put gloves on anymore. To get my head around the fact that in day one we did 55 miles and they didn't count for shit because someone added another 60 on at the other end. We turned up and went 5 miles in the wrong direction on day one.
So wait a minute. So you're not actually officially halfway then, according to the route.
Well, I don't know. I might know till I finish with Schrodinger's trail. We're now
halfway.
Simultaneously the old trail and the new trail. It's a nightmare. I'm going to have to phone all the councils. We're going to have to move. Probably Avon's going to have to come back as a county. It's the only way we can fudge this back in. So, I've emailed Avon today and said, listen, we need you back. I got 66 miles I need to add in. And if we can leave every other town exactly where it is, we can just squeeze in a kind of fudge factor town there. I mean,
this is not going to go down well with ultra running community because there are lots of there are lots of movable variables here. No, there's a lot of movable variables here, which it's going to play on their minds as to whether it's almost like it's like dealing, Trump's White House. Basically everything is up in the air. You don't know who's there. You don't know who's the spokesman at one time. No. They might have two different spokespeople. They're battling out. There's so many things up in the air, and it feels like it's a diversionary tactic. Well, you're cheating somehow.
It does.
Somehow
it does, doesn't it? It stinks. And it's the sort of thing a cheat would do. They'd go, "Oh, actually, the trail's longer than I thought." Yeah. So I'm going to be out here for longer. That's what a cheat would do.
Yeah. Whereas
what they wouldn't do is say, we've looked at the data and the good news is it's not 615 miles, it was 11k. We're in Shoreham. Good night. Because that's the plus or minus I would like right now. It's a sort of plus or minus 300 miles would be bloody amazing right now.
I'd like that option. Imagine you could start it. You have the 11k option or the however many k 615 miles or.
Well, we're back to the. Do you remember in the golden era the piece of string ultra?
Yes.
We're at the piece of string ultra. It's what is the trail's whatever length you want it to be.
But the thing is, for a fact that we've all looked at the route. And we know that it's not like a piece of string. It's like a bastard that goes on and on forever, and eventually ends up near a power station in Shoreham.
It's actually shaped like intestines.
Lisa, the thing about piece of string ultra is that there's always that little amount of hope that at any second now it's going to finish. Whereas for at least a week, it's not.
Yeah. Well, no, it's more than that. I've done a pacing plan, for a 625 mile fastest known time, and what I can't understand is day on day I'm drifting 5-6 miles behind behind the town I thought I should be, and so I'm working harder and harder into the night, and now I'm sort of well into 3-4 a.m. still moving, and of course it's bloody obvious why. Because when I go to bed and I press save on the phone and I think I should have done 42 miles or something, I'm clicking save on the watch and it's got, 48 miles, 49 miles.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's exciting. I'll tell you why it's exciting. It all ties into Ranulph Fiennes.
What?
Well, it's MDS week, Jody.
Go on.
Right, it's MDS week. Ranulph Fiennes is obviously the world's most famous person. I think, was he fastest Brit on the MDS?
Yes.
The year
yes.
before,
It was
the year before David did it.
Fastest Brit in his age category.
Oh, yeah, shit. That was it. Fastest veteran pushed up by Rory Coleman. No, I'll tell you what he was. He was fastest quadruple heart bypass with type 2 diabetes.
Yes.
That was the category he
won.
No.
Fastest person to have scaled the north face of the Eiger and to have run in Antarctica.
Yes. Did I ever tell you the story of when I had dinner with Ranulph Fiennes before the Autumn 100?
Yes. Yes, you did.
Okay, good. Well, we won't talk about it then. So when Ranulph Fiennes went across the Antarctic, yeah, he had all these plans and he meticulously worked stuff out, and he was going to be the first people to go across it. And just before he set off, the Ordnance Survey people came round and handed him a blank sheet of paper and said, "Can you fill this in on the way across? Can you just let us know what's out there? Because we don't know." Because he's going out into uncharted territory. And so that's what I'm doing here. We've got a trail. We sort of know the towns. We don't really know what's going on in between.
But wait a minute.
We've got an idea.
Has no one walked it end to end before?
Pardon?
Has no one walked it end to end before?
Yeah, there are 76 end-to-enders listed on the website.
Well, then why haven't they done it? Why have they been lazy bastards?
No, Jody Rainsford, no. If we start sending, if the online ultra community, these are nice people called Doris and Nigel, and they're retired and they live in nice places like Chipping Sodbury. We cannot have people like them being hunted down online and demand to see their pacemaker data for the 14 years they spent doing the whole Monarchs way in bits. Seriously, it will ravage these people's lives. There'll be a support group for them.
But all those people, they've done it in bits, haven't they? No one's done it from start to finish like you're doing it.
Not true. Charles II did.
Well, apart from Charles II, who allegedly...
No, there's another guy. That one guy did, what he did was he did about 20 miles a day, and at the end of each day he got picked up like by a taxi, taken to a B&B or whatever, and then the taxi took him back the next day to the same place and he carried on. And he raised loads of money, and hilariously, he didn't really pace it. He just said, "I'll go out there and see what happens." And hilariously, he finished it in 42 days, which was exactly the time it took Charles. So I think it's a draw for the FKT at the moment between a nice guy that sort of had B&Bs and taxis and went off the course, and the monarch on the run from the government.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great.
Right. Okay.
It's exciting.
Okay. So there's a lot of stuff we still need to talk about.
There is so much we need to talk about.
But first, before we start talking about the weaponisation and militarisation of the Monarchs way, you said that you met your double today.
Oh yeah, yes. Oh wow, that got surreal. Yeah, in Shaun of the Dead.
Yes, I know exactly the scene you're talking about.
Alley, and they pass themselves, and they all stop and go, "Hello, hi,"
yeah.
Wanker. And so we're just randomly walking around, and we're getting near Bristol.
Yeah.
So now, if you know Bristol, basically, people from Bristol all look like Lee Fuller, but with dreadlocks.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Hang on a second, I've just got to check a map, Jody. 2 seconds.
Turn left. Go right. North. South. North.
Okay, good. It just turned in a direction I didn't expect then, but, you know how good I am at navigating along canal sides, and even with Ali Bailey, I've got lost on the Thames Path 100 with Ali Bailey, which is embarrassing. All I have to do is keep the brown on the left, but I screwed up in 2 miles. Getting back to the point. What was my point?
Everybody
Fuller. From Bristol looks like Lee Fuller. If you took Lee Fuller, gave him some dreadlocks, stuck him in camo gear, and gave him a shitty-looking dog, he looks like everybody from Bristol. So literally, we're just getting within sniffing distance of Bristol, which I love, by the way. It is a bonkersly brilliant city. And I'm literally about to talk about the stereotype of the Bristolian you bump into, and the stereotype arrives. And he pulls up and he stops on some bike and he says, "Hello, could you point me in the direction of Strood. Is it Strood or Stroud? The Gloucester town. He said, I'm just riding around at random. I don't know which way it is. And we're like, holy cow, man, it's quite a long way away. So we show him on the phone, and he's got a massive backpack on. And I said, what are you doing? He said, oh, I'm just doing a big journey. I just felt like doing an epic journey. He said, so last week I set off from Brighton to go to Manchester, which is just north of Telford. And I looked at him and I'm like, huh? And he said, yeah, I'm going to try and do it in 2 weeks. I'm like, you've got to be shitting me. I said, I've just been up in Telford and I've had to go to Brighton. And he went, we could have saved each other and just saved each other the hassle. And basically I met my opposite. He's going in the other direction and we're halfway and we've sort of high-fived as we've gone past. But
wait. But he's on a
bicycle.
Oh, then he's not. But don't put yourself down like that. You don't need that sort of negativity.
I know. Well,
but wait a minute. He's come from Brighton and he's going to Manchester.
Yes.
What route goes via Bristol?
It'll be the Ketamine Way or something, won't it? I need to look it up on the. If you, it'll be the Ketamine Way or the ridiculous. I don't know, Tamaza Party Way.
What? What route is that? That's incredible.
I've always had a suspicion, but I'm not cool enough to know anymore. You have the dark web.
Yeah.
Like the stuff.
Yeah.
I reckon there's like a dark web for ultras.
Oh yeah.
You have to have a special browser, and it's like the upside down, and you can get like illicit kind of ultras, banned ultras. The piece of strings back.
Yeah.
I reckon there's a whole. Anyway, we're off on a tangent, but yeah. So I met my opposite going the other way, which is hilarious.
That's brilliant.
Bless him.
That's brilliant. Well, it's not brilliant. He's a cheat, but it's brilliant that you met someone who's doing something. But he wasn't doing Monarchs Way. He was doing just a different route. Oh yeah.
He's probably just got 60 quid and he's on a run for some good quality ketamine. Get it back for the weekend.
Okay. So, tell me. So wait, do I say Kieran's left you? Okay, so that happened, didn't it?
Okay, so this is the sad episode because actually yesterday was pretty sad.
Okay.
Because I lost Kieran. Oh, sorry, we said we wouldn't say lose. Kieran came to his senses.
Kieran abandoned you.
Came to his senses. So Kieran came to his senses. Basically, he was having a bit of a tough time in the morning. When I say a bit of a tough time, he was having a lot of a tough time. And I was trying to understand what was wrong, and he didn't have enough time to explain all the things that were wrong. So he took it to just describe the bits that still worked, which was, I think, one finger and an eye. I think one of his eyes still works.
Oh, my God.
Poor guy. He was broken, absolutely broken. But hang on a sec, I'm just going to look and see where to go. Very confusing. Well, I wish someone would map this. Make it much easier. There we go. Yeah, so, I mean, we got up, we were North Leach or something it's called.
Yeah.
North something. And he wasn't in a good way. And I said, look, we've got a shop here. It's 9 a.m. Why don't you just get a bus to Cirencester? We'll put a separate tracker on you so that people can, but go down to Cirencester. I've got a 17-mile burn all the way down from Chedworth Woods, North Leach, down into Cirencester. I'll be there about 4 p.m. You can sit in a cafe all day and relax and doze, get some food, dry your clothes out, and then see how you feel. And he went, that's genius. So we did the Samwise and Frodo thing. Mid-movie.
Underlying homoeroticism and being chased by a creature with no hair constantly trying to steal your jewellery.
David Hellhart. I don't understand. Actually, no, there's a lot of Hobbit stuff going on here. Like with John Tennant, the Google guy I can't mention.
Aren't you? Yeah.
Well, no, yeah, but like John Tennant's like, oh, I'm going to be in Somerset in 2 days. If you look west at sunrise, I'll be there. He's the Gandalf of the route. It's incredible.
Helm's Deep.
Yeah. Yeah, John Tennant turns up when you just need him. It's incredible. I've realised he's not Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's Gandalf. Anyway, so Kieran was pretty broken, so I started set off on my own. And then I did something pretty epic, Jody.
Yeah.
I did some running. Because I figured it's downhill.
Whoa. This is something you have been campaigning against for a long time. And
you've got loads.
Do you know what? I've sinned today as well. I've sinned today because I recorded with David earlier, and I actually made the comment that I did some cycling and I mildly enjoyed it. And I was thinking, the world has turned upside down.
This is what I mean about the dark web. I don't like it, Jody. I don't like it out here.
My nose is bleeding.
I don't like how I feel.
So
apparently, Gaz and Lady Garden, who are two hashes that came out to help me today, who have just left on a train looking utterly broken, took some video of me running down a hill today because they'd never seen anything like it. They were like, he's running. I'd have never even seen him do it.
It's like footage of the Yeti or the Abominable Snowman or Bigfoot, isn't it? It's just like
no. It's more like watching a lungfish pull itself out of the primordial soup and try and go on land for the first time. The limbs are there, but the technique is lacking.
It's like a newborn giraffe, newborn duck-billed platypus. So we've skipped. Today was lovely. I mean, compared, Kieran did get a bad deal because today was absolutely gorgeous.
Well, Gaz and Lady Garden was shooting video. We're walking along these beautiful paddocks, this nice grass. They're going, it's lovely here. God, look at the scenery. We can see Bristol from the distance. How good's that? Just gorgeous scenery. It's been beautiful today. But yeah, so yesterday he was very broken.
Yeah.
It then rained a lot. For a change, a lot, and there were flood warnings then appeared for Cirencester, and I'm like, oh hello, it's Captain Nemo all over again. So I'm now chasing down a potential flood at Cirencester. So I've got to try and get down off the Chedworth Hills, whatever it's called. So I run quite hard for the day, and by run quite hard I mean maybe do 3.5 miles an hour per hour. But I get down to Kieran earlier than I thought. I get in about 3:30 and I'm soaked through and I'm tired, but I'm thinking, he'll be there, it'll be better. And I walked in and he looked just as broken as he did when I left him at 9 o'clock. In fact, he got worse because his body had sensed that he'd stopped. Because you know how your body goes, oh, hang on, no, it stopped. We can fully break down now.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Sometimes your body will hang on, and as soon as it thinks, wait a minute, we don't have to go back out there.
Oh, hang on.
Let's get everything go wrong.
Kieran's body had done the equivalent of the undoing the top belt on the jeans. It had just gone, fuck this. So Kieran's feet have just, he showed me, it was brilliant. He was showing me stuff and he goes, look, my little toe's gone like popcorn, it's detonated, and then there's huge flats of skin flapping around. What's that about? And I'm like, oh yeah, no, I got that on the Thames Path 100. I call that, popcorn skin. And he was just melted, completely gone, and he was gutted. And I'm looking at him and I'm saying, Kieran, the furthest you've ever been is 50 miles. You just did about 105 miles in combat conditions in torrential rain, and we've had an amazing adventure. We had an entire day where when we spoke to you on the phone last time, we had an entire day where we did nothing but laugh at each other and just laugh. And it was brilliant. So I said to him, look, go home, get some rest. You might be good enough again that you can come back out in 2021 or 2022 while I'm still out here and help me through the tricky Salisbury section. But, I just said to him, you might come out for a couple of days more, you might not, but don't worry about it. It's okay. So off I went on my own about 5 o'clock, and it was actually quite bad. I was quite sad. I should have speed dialed you because you wanted to chat when I'm down, didn't you?
Yeah.
Went out on my own. And but Kieran did the best thing he could do, which was go on the Facebook group and said, hi, I represent a team of people who have been out onto a trail and been completely physically destroyed. Who would like some of that?
Yeah, who wants?
And lots of people went, me, I want to be physically destroyed.
This isn't going to be...
this, you say?
This isn't going to be the best offer you've ever had. But...
it feels like, at the moment, I'm making my friends charge at chain Gatling cannons in World War One. It really does. It feels like I know that we're going to blow a whistle and they're all going to charge onto the Monarchs' way. Everyone's just going to die. And I'm going to feel bad. So... But he just rallied people together and said, look, here's where, year on year, here's the county Lee's going to make it to. Just come out and join him, even for a couple of hours. And loads of people have said, yep, not a problem, let's come and find him and laugh at him and let's find out what it's really about out there. So I've got a couple of people meeting me tomorrow. I had 2 hashers, friends of mine who do badders, who came out today. They did 25k. I don't know what that is. Why do young people use K? Is it because it sounds impressive?
Oh, of course because it sounds impressive. It's fucking pathetic. I think it's
They did 25k, which I think is 7 miles or 5 miles.
25k, yeah. 25k is about 3 miles.
Well, no, Jody, there's a breakdown within that. So you've got normal K and then you've got a triathlon K. So those are shorter, which is why the times are always so impressive.
What about OCRK, though?
An OCRK, they can't count. What are you talking about? How would an OCR person know what distance they've done? They only know how many bars on the monkey bar.
I should say 25. Was it 25k or 2 laps?
What you say? It's yeah. So I lost Q, and I was a bit sad, if I'm honest. And I kind of didn't. I don't know. I was worried I'd be sad, and I was. And like so I've left him in Cirencester and I've gone, you'll be all right, buddy, and I've given him a thumbs up, and we both walked away from each other on the high street like we're splitting up. And like people from over the road would be like, oh, look at these two, look, bless them. They're splitting up. They've been to Poundland. He's bought a load of chocolate, like 8 tons of it, probably to just cry tonight, and the other one seems to be limping. But what was funniest was Kieran then sat down and went, okay, let's figure out how I'm going to get back to Guildford. And he got the internet out, and the internet said, okay, all you need to do is get a bus from here to, I don't know, India. Then when you get on that bus, get this bus to, I don't know, here. And basically, the quickest suggestion for him to get home was on a par with me getting to Shoreham. Poor guy. I think he got home like, I don't know how many hours later, poor guy. So, yes, he'd gone. And then I went out and I slayed some demons, Jody.
Wait, I'm just going to say that the great thing about this race and being able to support you...
It's not a race.
Right, this disaster,
mapping project.
This project.
No, high-speed mapping project.
This experiment is that it not only is it difficult for you to navigate and difficult things, it's an absolute shitter to support because transport links. It couldn't be more difficult.
Just remind yourself, this is a dude
Mongolia.
On the run from the government that didn't get caught. He's good at what he does.
Yeah, he is. So far, he has proved it. Like, the government didn't follow him because they're like, fuck that. I'm not going to all that flooding and stuff like that. Just let him.
He's in Stow on the Ware. Fuck off. I can't even be asked. It doesn't even have a decent motorway. Yeah. Actually, the hiding away from prying eyes leads on to an incident later on that we can talk about. But, so yeah, he's gone. Bless him. But we're still messaging and stuff, you know. We've decided to just stay friends. We're not going to take it any further than that anymore. And so that's Jason and Kieran now. Their running career's completely over. I think Jason's got surgery next week and then a psychotherapist for about those 3 years, poor guy, before he can probably return to the army. He'll probably have to be retired early from the army for stress.
Come on, but, get to the story. Get to the story. Come on.
Which one do you want? Which story do you want?
I want to know why you were nearly arrested.
I wasn't nearly arrested. Well, I was.
Did you? Have you bigged this up? What is this? You said armed police. I'm sure you said armed police.
So, it wasn't armed police.
But I was being ambushed at 2 a.m. by armed police. Now you've got to live up to that. You've got to live up to that headline.
Well, that was how I saw it at the time.
Oh, that's good enough.
Subsequent to that, when I've taken some shoulder badge numbers down, I found out that they weren't armed police.
What? What? Wait a minute.
Well, this is what. Okay.
Let me give you. Police and go on. Right.
Let me give you a taster. I've got a guy pointing a gun at me in the middle of nowhere in the Cotswolds at 2 a.m, and I'm going, I really need to get some sleep. This can't possibly be actually happening.
Wait a minute. Pointing an actual gun.
Pointing an actual gun.
What type of gun?
Telling me that he's a local constable from Gloucestershire Police Force. And I'm like, listen, mate, I might not have had a lot of sleep and I'm in a terrible, terrible mood, but there is no way on earth a constable of Gloucestershire Police Force has a combat vest on, inserted ceramic armour, army boots, flashbang things, a whole webbing system, a Heckler & Koch MP5 machine gun, and a Glock pistol. I said, how rough is it round here that the local Bobby looks like the Expendables, right? So my brain is going, you are in a new place of crazy right now. You're probably talking to a tree that looks like a top. So do you want me to jump back and walk you through what happened and then what I found out the next day?
Yeah, go on.
That suddenly made a lot more sense. So I'm going through the night, like I've always done. And there's a section after Tetbury that's tough to navigate. There are these whopping great fields. So you basically got to take a bearing in the darkness and hope you get across. It's really muddy.
Yeah.
And I'm in a foul mood. I've lost Kieran. And I'm just in a terrible mood. You know when you're like, screw these land. I look over at this big house and I'm like, you total bastards. So eventually I get to the other side of it. And have you ever been creeped out when you're running at night? You just get this creeped out feeling and you keep turning and looking behind you. Or you feel a little bit kind of like you're being watched.
I don't get that with running. I get that when I'm sat in the office.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Or when someone goes near your browser history when there's a problem with your computer, you're like, no, hang on.
No. It's all right. I can live without it.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about the keyboard not working. I'll just type with my tongue. So I just got this really weird vibe that I was being watched and followed.
Yeah.
So I turned the headphones off, stopped listening to music. I had my hood up, but I'm kind of watching off to the left. And I've come up in line with West Burton or Western something Arboretum.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, all fucking hell breaks loose. And short of fast roping in off a chopper, I don't know how much more epic they could have made it. But basically, this unmarked snatch Land Rover comes out of literally the woods with these dudes, and it's all shouting and bright lights all on me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, God damn it, the Trail Running Association have caught up with me and I'm banned. I was livid. I was like, and actually my second thought was, oh, maybe I didn't lock that last gate when I went through that last paddy field. I'm in all sorts of trouble.
Yeah.
So they got these bright lights on me, and I'm like, oh. So I turned the light up on my petrol head torch, which is quite bright. And I'm shouting at them. They're shouting at me, and I'm angry. I'm in a bad mood. And I'm shouting, you're knackering my night vision. Turn the full beams down on your Range Rover, you bell end. It's like I'm shouting back at them. And they're shouting, stop moving, hands behind your head. And I'm so tired, so angry, in such a bad mood. I don't really care. So I'm shouting back, turn your light down. I can't see a bloody thing. So we have this weird Mexican light off, where neither wants to blink first and turn their lights down. And eventually I just sort of wander off to the side. And when I come out of the blinding light, there's, the Expendables. Like, it's the bit in Wayne's World where they open a door and there's like a million guys practicing kung fu and shooting guns.
Yeah.
That. And I just sort of stand there and go, and my brain literally went, oh, this is a new level of psychotic. You are very tired right now. This cannot be actually happening.
So what happened? How did that resolve itself?
They shout, what are you doing here? Where have you just been? What are you doing out here? And I'm like, well, I've just come across this public footpath. They're like, well, what's the purpose of you coming along this footpath? And I'm like, and I was such a bad, what I'm like, Jody, when I'm in the wrong mood and I'm argumentative and I'm tired and I'm grumpy, he said, well, what was the purpose of you going along there? And I'm like, it's a public footpath. It's the purpose of whatever the fuck I want it to be. It's a public footpath. I haven't done anything wrong.
Striking a conciliatory note there with people with guns on you.
What I tried to do was arbitrate. I tried to take the middle ground. So I
calm this situation. Right calm this situation down.
No, I escalated it massively. Do you remember Ultra Satan last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ultra Satan put Kevlar on and stood there and went, shoot me. It won't hurt as much as my feet do, I promise you. And you've only got 9 bullets and then I'm coming for you. I was that angry. I was like, you've ruined my night vision. I've got muddy feet from going across those fields and I got lost a little bit. I'm pissed off right now. And now you're eating into precious time for me to finish this course within the next year. So I'm livid. So they start saying, well, who are you? And I'm like, well, who are you? And they said, well, we're Gloucestershire Police.
Why didn't you say, do you not know who I am? That's what you should have said.
Jody, in the last 24 hours, I've now had a million hilarious one-liners I could have said. Instead, all they got was an incredibly angry hobbit. I suspect these guys
why didn't you just
have never seen anything like it.
I'm the race director of the Monarchs Way Ultra, and what are you going to fucking do with it?
So they go, who are you? We need to know who you are, please. And I'm thinking, I just basically said, why? And I said, who the fuck are you guys? I said, you don't look like cops. What's wrong with this? Why is your vehicle not marked as a police car? And they went, oh, it is a police car. It was really weird. He went, it is a police car. And he leant in and showed me a little blue light on the dashboard. And I'm like, that looks like a snow globe. I was like, you're in a grey Land Rover, what? Or like a Defender.
So what were they? They weren't police. Why are you stringing this out? Tell me who they are.
So I kept saying to them, I don't think you're genuine cops. And they said, no, we're Gloucestershire Constabulary and blah, blah, blah. And I said, I literally, none of this makes any sense.
Did they show you badges?
They kept shouting down at me because obviously they're not going to stand down, are they? Yeah. So they keep shouting at me saying, we need to see some ID. And I'm like, I haven't got any. I've taken 3 bank cards with me and some caffeine bullets. That's all I've got. I can give you a friend's phone number and he can vouch for me, but I haven't got any ID on me. And they're saying, well, you've got to give us your name and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, well, it's on the bank card you're holding. And then I kind of went, I was like, well, hang on, what I'll do, I'll jot down all the numbers off their shoulders. And then I can just make a complaint tomorrow and I'll just say whatever they want me to say and I'll just get on my way because this is bonkers. Yeah. And maybe I'm just imagining it. So start jotting the numbers down and they're SO numbers.
What does that mean? And
my brain there are some special divisions of the police, other than the Freemasons and the other corrupt stuff, that does. So SO 19 is counter-terrorism.
Oh, yeah.
SO 11, I think, is protect the airports. And SO 14, and this is when I literally burst out laughing, SO 14, SO 14 is royalty protection. I'm on the fucking Monarchs Way, and I've got a load of guys that protect royalty.
Oh, the irony!
Working for the government, and they're harassing a steward, and I just pissed myself laughing. And they're like, "Why are you laughing?" I'm like, "You're SO 14, you're royalty protection, and I'm on the Monarchs Way. This is glorious. This is like a wind up." And they're like, "No, we're not. We're just constables from Gloucestershire." And I'm like, "Okay, bless you for trying." And I went, "Okay, I totally get what's going on here." So I said, who lives near here? Who's the royal that lives near here? And they went, there are various people that live in various country houses around here. And I went, you know what? Everything suddenly makes sense. So I've clearly crossed on a public footpath in the middle of the night, someone, the Duke of whatever's or something, and he's got scared, so he's phoned the cops and he has a protection outfit and they've come out here. Yeah. And they probably hardly ever get to do anything, so they thought, oh, this will be good. Look at this little guy, he looks knackered. Let's go roll some flashbangs in and scare the fuck out of him. Yeah. And instead what they've got back is an incredibly angry person saying, shoot me, do what you want.
Shoot me, at least I can stop. If you shoot me, I have a reason to stop.
If you shoot me, it's a reasonable excuse for me to drop out right now.
Make sure it's the legs, make sure it's something that non-fatal, but something that will prevent me from carrying on.
Yeah, like my brain. Yeah. So I just said, you know what, I know exactly what's going on here. and I've just said, you guys are ridiculously heavy-handed. This is completely over the top. You could have just had one person in a barber jacket discreetly stand like a landowner would, come towards me and say, hello, good evening, are you lost? Can I get you anything? And just check I'm all right and who I am.
I love the idea that you're advising them. You're advising them on the right way to approach it. I just
said, it's so off the charts over the top. It's what do-badders would do, I guess. It was ridiculous.
What time was it? What time was
off
this?
I went.
What time was this?
2:30 in the morning.
Well, I mean, it is a bit fucking weird.
Oh, come on. The line, well, yeah, I was the first constable that happened to be in the area, and the fact that I'm an armed constable is just a coincidence. I'm like, mate, your uniform doesn't even look like a police officer. I said, I've been to some rough parts of London, but I cannot believe for a second there are parts of Gloucestershire where you need a ceramic-plated body armour on when you're driving around in your car.
Yeah, but how tough
is this town?
If I had a property, now because some of those footpaths, they do go through like properties and stuff like that, but they can get really close to it and they can get through some weird places. If I saw someone at 2 a.m. in the morning running through my estate or whatever,
well, not running.
If I saw someone moving in a very, very suspicious manner in my estate at 2 in the morning, I think I'd be pretty worried as well.
Well, but moving directly across the right of way that you know is there.
It's still suspicious. Come on, it's suspicious.
Is it?
Yeah.
But okay. Yeah. Well, in that case, I'm hugely suspicious. It annoys me.
You're
Jody,
hugely suspicious. You're hugely suspicious, even without the outfit. Even without being on someone's estate.
I was just about to say, what can a guy do when he can wander around the countryside at 3 a.m. with a beard and a suicide vest on, right? And everyone freaks out. It's just so unreasonable. I'm livid, if I'm honest. With some wires hanging out because
did you think you looked like a terrorist? Did you? It's when you got the prayer mat out, probably, that he didn't get. You got a mat out in order to sort of like rub your feet or apply something. It probably looked really dodgy.
I get this at airports because of the destinations I've done and because I travel alone a lot. I get pulled aside in Israel or America and they go, and they're like, you go to Egypt a lot? I was like, yeah, I go diving. The best question I ever got was from an American immigration thing. And everyone around me's going, don't fuck with him, don't fuck with him, don't fuck with him. And he goes, why have you been to Egypt 8 times? Oh, because I'm a diver. And he went, but it's the desert. I was like, yeah, but I go to the Red Sea. But Egypt's the desert, there's no sea. And you're like, bless. And you say, no, there's a massive coastline all the way down the east side of Egypt. And he'll go, no, there isn't. Egypt's in the desert. And you're like, right, don't lose my temper. But you get these sort of questions. And my passport just looks like a terrorist passport. 8 destinations, 8 times to Egypt. Flown into Morocco to a private military base at Ouarzazate, which of course we know is the MDS.
Yeah.
But the Israelis, when I crossed the border, went, why are you flying into a military air base without a tourist visa? I was like, oh, it's fine, I was flown in a private jet. And I'm like, oh man, all of this sounds bad. And I'm like, and we just crossed the desert on foot. And I'm like, yeah, that could sound bad to Mossad too. So now when I went into America recently, of course, I've been to Mongolia. And they're like, what's this Mongolian stamp? And I'm like, oh, across the frozen lake. Where is it? Oh, Kovsgol. And they go on the map and they go, it's 6 miles from the Russian border. I'm like, of course it is. Of course it is. That's now the next 7 years of my passport spent having questions about being a Russian spy now as well as being a Middle Eastern spy. So it's just that. I feel victimised, Jody. So I think it's unfair that I can't go around the countryside at 3 in the morning with a beard and a suicide vest on. It's unreasonable.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
So the next day, I look to the west and the sun comes up.
Yep.
And JT's back. The guy, John Tennant's back.
Yep.
He thought he'd come and see me. He's been, I don't know, mending something in Kent and then flown across to Somerset to change one badge round, bless him. And we walked for a little while and in a very, very beautiful part of the trail. It was amazing. And he said, are you all right? And I said, well, no, I said, last night loads of people got guns out when I left Tetbury. And he went, oh, yeah, no, the Monarchs way goes right through the middle of Prince Charles's Highgrove estate. You go right past his lawn. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. And I stopped and I went, Right. Did you not feel you want to just let me know that, John? Is there not a pertinent bit of information for the book? Don't go through here at night because, you can literally see Prince Charles brushing his teeth.
Camilla, there's some odd little hobbit. Odd little hobbit running away.
What I think is hilarious is I'm following a route set by Prince Charles and another Royal Charles.
Has reported you.
The government on me. It's just a vicious, spiteful circle.
It is. And so then what? So what happened the next? So basically, and then it picks up the next day. So you saw JT.
Yeah, saw JT, and obviously the penny dropped about the SO14 boys.
Yeah.
And then actually it's just quite funny because they're probably used to jumping out occasionally and scaring people, and this is probably the first time ever that a guy's stared down the gun and gone, "Wait, what else you got? You can need more than that, pal. I'm really angry." So they'll be now designing a new weapon to take out really, really low blood sugar long distance runners.
They're just going to come along with a Dominoes, and you'll be like, "I'm yours. What do you want?"
Well, no, the specialist guy will go into the boot and put out this gun that fires out a comfortable bed and pizza in the middle, and I go, "That looks great." Completely disarmed. So yeah, that was it. So JT hung out. We marched through some very, very pretty parts, heading gently towards Bristol, coming out of the Cotswolds. And then two of the hashers turned up. They're also in the BBR group called Lady Garden and Camping Gaz. And they came and did some walking with me as well. And it's been good fun today.
Well, that sounds nice. It sounds good. You sound in good spirits again. So, and sleep-wise, how have you been?
Feet-wise?
Sleep-wise.
Oh. What wise?
Sleeping.
Oh, sleep.
Yes.
Oh, I remember sleeping. Oh,
have you not? You've not gone past the Premier Inn or something recently, then?
No, I had last night I had an hour and a half sleep in the graveyard at Tetbury Church, and then I had an hour and a half sleep in some place called Lighterton, I think, just outside Lighterton, just before the sun came up. And both times it was really cold in the Cotswolds last night, and both times I knew I'd only get an hour and a half sleep because the creeping cold would just get to me and wake me up anyway, which it did.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was all right. I'm hoping to have more sleep tonight because I'm an ultra runner has kindly offered for me to come to his murdery basement for the evening and play video games and look at pictures of his mum. So I'm going to stay there. No, it doesn't sound creepy at all.
That sounds great. And so now, aren't you about to go on that really annoying loop?
Oh yeah, that's coming up in the next 2 days. So tomorrow's nice. I'm heading out into the Mendips, which is beautiful. And Inky Ann's coming out, and Spike.
Yes.
Neil is coming out. He's coming out too. Basically just to throw tomatoes and abuse. Anne's found a running club that's my kind of standard. They're called the Something Snails.
Yeah.
And they're basically dedicated to people that literally can't run. So I'm going to be with my people for the day, which is nice.
Amazing.
But I got a new pair of shoes. I've gone full Paolo Nutini. I've got new shoes.
Well, okay, right.
The old ones just wore out in 5 days or 7 days. They're dead. So I got.
What are you wearing? What shoes are you wearing? Dare I ask?
I've got the. They're called the Nike Sub 2. So the 2 is sub 2 weeks. So it's the new Nike. They've had very high tech people working on them, and they're called the Nike Super Evans -2s. So the idea is that these shoes are so incredible, you can do them on its way in under 2 weeks.
Wow.
And they reckon it gives you a 1 or 2% edge on some things and science, and they give you blisters. So that's awesome. When are you?
Sort of jumping ahead here. When are you scheduled to actually fit? When's the cut-off point for you doing it within 2 weeks? Please tell me it's like 12 o'clock on Sunday of the Brighton Marathon.
No, we're not going to do like, do you know what? If I get this right, I'm going to be coming the other way and high-fiving everybody on the South Down 50.
Oh, are you? Oh, okay.
Yeah, arms full of pizza and a beer and stuff, just high-fiving people going, you'll be all right, you're fine. Yeah, watch the Pig Farm Hill.
And the South Downs 50 this weekend?
I don't know. Probably. Or next weekend.
Oh, I don't know. Which weekend is it? Whatever.
I don't know. I don't even know what day it is.
I might even just make stuff up.
Next week somewhere else. So yeah, tomorrow I've got the men dips, and then for the next 2 days after that, I've got the loop from hell in Devon and Dorset. But it's okay because Gandalf has summoned. I think Brian the Green is coming out with me. So he's a different wizard from that area, and Brian is an expert on that loop. He's the warden down there, and he's basically offered to come out in all the sections he knows are the most challenging and kind of walk along with me, which is bloody awesome.
Nice.
So how good's that?
That's really good.
I know. So that's that. And then the final thing we need to talk about Lucozade.
Oh, go on. Why?
Well, I didn't know about it. Well, I knew about it, but I didn't know about it.
Right.
So I always thought you get a little bottle when you're sick with grapes, and it cures everything from cancer to a banged toe.
Oh, that's a very old thing. And it used to. Do you remember when it used to be in like a cellophane plastic thing to make it a little bit special?
Well, science, isn't it?
Science. If it's in a cellophane
Back
thing,
then it was science.
Yeah, go on.
Back then it was science. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've never really liked it because to me it was just loopy juice. You know, they were like, let's see how many numbers we can get in this drink before a child actually levitates. You know. And so I never really interested. So the other day, I think it was when I was leaving Cirencester, I wanted a load of Red Bulls to really get me going. And they didn't have any in Poundland where I was shopping. So they had loads of Lucozade and it was 2 for 1. So I was like, well, that's an energy drink. That'll make me go. So I grabbed 4 bottles of Lucozade and Kieran went, whoa there, pal. What are you doing? And I'm like, well, it's an energy drink, isn't it? It's sports drink. And he went, you shouldn't do that much Lucozade. No one should do that much Lucozade. And I'm like, it's just sugary drink. So I had some and I drank it. And is it just me or is Lucozade, no matter how much you drink, you're still thirsty?
Oh, absolutely.
It's like it sucks liquid out of you and you're like, I must have more Lucozade. So you drink more and then
it's weird.
You finish another bottle and you go, my mouth is still dry. I must have more Lucozade.
It's like dry, isn't it? It's like really sweet but dry. Yeah. It's like a weird enigma. That's it. When I first did the South Downs Way 100, I worked out that because my parents met me at different places. I worked out that I drank 17 bottles of Lucozade Sport on it. And I needed to brush my teeth halfway through because it was just But it is. I don't think it's a very good delivery system of electrolytes because I think you probably do a lot better. Purely from the fact that I needed 17 bottles of it. But there's something about it that I like. I don't know. I quite like Lucozade Sport.
I think so too. I think there's something in it that like fires that serotonin. Gambling reflex, do risky things, take cocaine part of your brain, because you just go, yeah.
Wait a minute. Did you drop some Lucozade Sport before you got onto Highgrove?
Yeah, I was Lucozading off my tits when I met them. You see how this all comes together. I was in an orange frenzy when they met me. So I'm drinking it, and I'm like, I must have more Lucozade. And suddenly, all I think about is, I must buy more Lucozade. I need more Lucozade. You just become reprogrammed, don't you? Completely.
I love the idea of you standing there facing off with those armed guards, and you just go, yeah, I don't care. I don't suppose you guys got any.
I just need more Lucozade.
Just give me some Lucozade, and I'll go. I'll just leave you. Just more Lucozade.
Well, it's the two things they look for, isn't it? Have they got black and missing teeth? Is a meth head, or has he got loads of orange around his face? In which case it's a Lucozade nutter, and you need to just step back because they are the proper nutters. And I went bombing along, and I mean bombing to Tetbury. I worked out what time I'd be there, and it was about midnight.
Did you break into a jog?
Yeah, I was jogging, man. I was epic. I was a jogging god. So I get to Tetbury. I get close to Tetbury, and okay. I started to get a tight chest and my heart felt funny. And I was fairly sure I was about to have a heart attack. Right. And it's funny to laugh about it now, but I was in the middle of nowhere and I was like, I think I'm having a heart attack. I think I'm one of those guys that dies at 41 from his first fatal heart attack. And literally, my heart was all over the place. Yeah. Well, that's my DJ age anyway. So I literally thought I was having a heart attack. And I messaged a friend of mine who's a doctor, and I said, my heart's gone weird. And, describe the symptoms. And she was like, okay, hang on a second, let me go on Wikipedia, like anyone from the NHS does. And she came back and she went through the standard checklist. And then she went, have you done Lucozade? And I was like, yeah, I'm gone mental on it. But Lucozade makes me basically brilliant for about 3 hours, and then I'm pretty convinced I'm having a heart attack. It's terrifying. It hurts. My chest hurts. It's like this indigestion that's too high. My heart hurts. It was terrifying. So I went into Tetbury and had to just lay down and sleep for an hour and a half and pray I didn't die. And being a scientist, I thought, well, I'll try again the next day in a controlled environment. So I tried a little bit of Lucozade in the morning, but I'm not an addict, Jody. I could give up at any time. But I just wanted to try, just for science, 2 or 3 bottles for breakfast. And I had a little bit of a bottle for breakfast. And an hour later, tight chest, heart all over the place, feeling like shit again. So, I've checked into the Lucozade clinic. They're going to try and wean me off it. But no one warned me. It's evil.
I don't know why you do.
It's just evil.
The thing is, this is a discussion to have. They put Lucozade Sport and stuff in like vending machines for kids. I mean,
I bet they do.
Yeah, they do. I mean, because
your brain just goes, goes to its base level.
Parents think, it's sports drink, isn't it? So if it's got all the sports in it, it's okay. You're like, oh, I don't know.
It's like this weird negative feedback loop. Once you go in on a Lucozade loop, you literally need a friend to have an intervention to get you off it. You can't. It's all you can think about. I must have more Lucozade. I have a dry mouth. Oh, I like the orangey goodness.
It's really
I've got
good.
A dry mouth. I must have more.
I tell you what's really good. I used to do. This sounds really weird doing it, but I don't mind admitting it now. What I used to do when I was training, like in Brighton, and the weather was really hot. I don't know why I thought this was the right thing, but I was trying to. This was like before the MDS. I was trying to practice running without drinking because I thought if I could get used to dehydration. That would be a good idea. I don't know. I have no idea. No idea what made me think that. So I try and run for like 4 hours without drinking anything.
Right, and you lost a kidney.
Exactly. Yeah. When I was pissing blood for an hour, I thought maybe this isn't the right thing to do. But then what I do is I look forward then to getting and having a really cold Lucozade Sport when I finish, and then feel it like surging through your veins. Like it sounds really weird, but you can like feel the sugar going through you and everything.
What you're describing? I know you're describing speedballing. It's like, God, oh wow,
it's true. It's true.
Oh, wow.
It was, and then I started thinking, I'm purposefully not going to drink just because when I get back, I can have that Lucozade hit, that cold Lucozade hit.
And you can give up at any time. That's what you were saying.
Absolutely. I can give up any time. You know what? I'm like,
I don't have a problem with it today.
I'm 40 this year, and that's the only reason I go out for runs.
No one warned me. So I've been in and out. I'm now. It's 24 hours since my last Lucozade. So I'm now part of LA, which is Lucozade Anonymous. And I'll probably always be a Lucozade-aholic, but hopefully I'll be able to stay dry from it. But yeah, that stuff's evil. I don't know how that's allowed to even be sold. It's not a drink. It's just a money delivery system for a company. It's insane.
Yeah. So what's next then? So you're off to the Mendips tomorrow.
Got the Mendips.
Yep.
Then we've got a loop round Dorset and Devon that starts and finishes in Yeovilton. So that's nice. 2 days, 75 miles, and find yourself back where you started. So that's always good. That's never depressing. So I mean, that's well worth doing. God Almighty! If people complain about a BBR podcast, Charles II had no plan.
It's just,
he just steamed around the countryside going, no idea.
It's just, that's the thing about it. What I love about this race and the fact that you're doing it and I'm not, is that it's just that it's like, it's taking people that have got that mindset of doing like long distances and stuff, the ultra mindset. But it's also, it just then fucks with you by going, yeah, but let's just see how your mind deals with this next. Yeah, and this whole idea of you doing a loop. How big is the loop? The loop's like 80 miles or something, isn't it?
Pete Reese.
It's like a 100-mile
loop.
Pete
Reese did a diagram. So I took Pete Reese out on it last year because he'd never really done a run through the night, and he was about to do the Marathon des Sables.
Yeah.
And I said, if you get used to running through the night, you'll recognise the zigzags when you're tired. You'll recognise that it gets better when the light comes up, unless you're Jody Rainsford. And so you can deal with the symptoms as they happen and know that it's okay. So he did that loop with me as a kind of test run for through the night. And Pete is known for doing obstacle course racing. And Pete's going, why are we jumping over walls? This is supposed to be a national trail. Why are we skirting around an entire dairy farm? Why have we got to wade across the stream to find barbed wire at the other side? So it's pretty hectic. It's the one bit I'm frightened about, actually. It's the one bit where it could go wrong.
Oh, what? Because the obstacles that might be there from... Isn't that one way?
No, just because I think...
Go on.
Yeah, go on.
No. Because before there were lots of things in the way, but you managed to negotiate them during the recce, didn't you?
Yeah, well, during the recce, I've managed to find most of the areas that are wrong, or difficult, or blocked, and come up with some kind of solution or cross-reference it against the book or the website. But if I've got the green with me, during that, he can, I don't know, dispersion spell or something, and get us keep us through. As long as he rolls 2 dice bigger than 17, we'll be all right. So I'm less worried, I've got to say. If I know this guy Brian, because he'll know which bits are bad, he'll just turn up for those, then that's bloody awesome. And actually, all of this comes back to the people moaning about me not having a tracker. I cannot tell you how convenient having a tracker is for people coming out to see me and coordinating, coming to find me and that kind of thing. It's been brilliant. So they were right for the wrong reasons. A tracker is a great idea if it helps people coordinate and come out and meet you. As a thing in its own right, it's utterly useless.
Well, actually, all the hoo-ha brought up in the ultra group has been beneficial for 2 main reasons. One, you've got a tracker now that someone kindly offered to do that, and that's brilliant. And you've had people from that group as well who have come and found you and supported you and stuff like that. Yeah. And 2, it's allowed you to fuel the hatred of them coursing through your veins. That'll really spur you on to finish and then go back into that group and explain to them exactly what you think.
I mustn't go in that group ever.
If you got to do a victory lap, I was about to say.
It's immensely important because I have no style and panache. When I've won something and I need to rub people's faces in it, I must never go on that group. In fact, I might email that the moderator who was kind enough to email me and say, just to let you know, people are bad-mouthing you. I'm like, great, it's a group you're not in. Do you want to join? I'm like, yeah. It's like saying, hey, Lee, there's a load of guys outside with baseball bats and they're beating the shit out of someone. Do you want to go out there and get the shit beaten out of you too? And I'm like, you know what, dude, I'm just going to stay in here in my pants and watch TV. But you have a nice time with those people. You enjoy that.
It's like a gambler pleading with William Hill or Ladbrokes not to let them in. Like, please, whatever happens, do not let me in onto your premises or onto your website or anything. And they're like,
I mustn't be in. So yeah, no, it's a terrible idea because I'll just be all. I'll just be me.
You'll be all magnanimous, won't you? It'll be like.
I don't even know what that means. Is that the one with the chocolate round it and the ice cream in the middle? I love them. They're amazing. I like the cock noise they make when you eat the top bit off.
The cock noise? What?
No, they make this kind of noise, don't they?
I wouldn't know. I don't eat that. I'm a vegan.
Dude, you just miss out on so much. It makes me sad sometimes.
I'd really struggle. I'd struggle to eat on this, wouldn't I? I think that's the main reason
I can't get my head. I can't get my head round honey. Vegan thing.
I couldn't. I just couldn't. I wouldn't be able to get my hands on a vegan pan of chocolate anywhere. I guarantee. Bristol, you might be able to actually. Bristol has a large vegan community. Yeah, Bristol.
You would. Out here, you'd be able to lick the rainwater off leaves and suck a willow bark. Is pretty much the two things you'd be able to.
To be fair, that's how most of the locals live. So.
Whoa there.
Whoa.
Whoa. Just hold up a moment there.
Well, I'm relying on these people to
very
live.
Much become my people, actually. Oh, no, hang on, Bristol's not in Gloucester, is it? I've left Gloucester now.
I love this. You're like
Oh,
one of these comedians.
I did a first today.
Everyone, it's my favourite city. Insert name of city here. Hello, insert name of city here.
Robert, to be fair, you've just described you two doing a BBR interview. Hello, this person telling us about a thing. Please tell us about a thing. Insert beer joke here. Say absolutely here when you have no idea what he's talking about.
Make in jokes that no one understands.
Exactly. And then David and Jody will say, David, the sheet I've got in front of me is completely blank. And David's like, yeah, it's the 1 hour where you don't say a word. Jamie joint interview where people just gone. It's just gone. It's just logged off. Hey, I did a thing today. First, forget me running, okay? These videos you're going to see on Facebook and me running downhill. It's fake news. And it's not the achievement of the day. Guess what the achievement of the day was?
Let me think. What would be a massive achievement for you?
Do you want a hint?
Go on.
It's to do with swearing.
You invented a new swear word? You didn't swear?
I went for nearly 15 minutes on a radio interview today with the BBC where I didn't swear. I think I used the term gosh when I was thinking about something.
Yeah, so who are you speaking to, Eamon? You just leave this little detail out. What who are you being interviewed by?
A person.
Why are you being coy about this? You don't just drop it in. Oh, we're interviewed on the radio, and then go, no, I'm not going to tell you about it.
Well, because it's
stop being a wireless tease.
The BBC. No. She told me there's the BBC, like the main BBC in Manchester, and then there's like the World Service and BBC World, and then she said above all of that is BBC Gloucester. And BBC Gloucester are like they're the original company. I didn't realise, but their headquarters for the world is in Gloucester.
Oh, really?
So BBC Gloucester, most people haven't even heard of them because they're like the black card version of the BBC.
They're like Alphabet. They're the Alphabet to Google, aren't they? Yeah.
To be honest, I almost felt like I'd joined the Tenettenbaum club from the IT crowd. So yeah, she was lovely. But I did a bit of an interview, but I had to not swear for 15 minutes. I had to write the words "do not swear" on my hand.
Was this live?
She said it wasn't, but who knows?
Did it make it? That's the thing. I mean, this must have been the biggest news Gloucester's had for a long, long time.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at what happened to me in the last 48 hours.
A flood or someone running
biblical flooding.
Yeah.
Well, we're back to pestilence, hellfire, and everything else I bring to any town. I mean, we've arrived in Bristol this evening. Guess what's happening in Bristol? It's starting to flood. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me.
You're the opposite of the Messiah.
I'm like an aquatic Midas. Everything I touch turns to flood. It's terrifying. I'm Flydus. Oh, God. Everything I touch turns to blood. So I did an interview. How good's that? I didn't swear for 5 minutes. Forget the interview. Who cares? It's an academic exercise, and I passed it. Could I go for 15 minutes without swearing? Yes, I can.
So, you don't know whether this has been on the radio or not?
I do. I know exactly when it's been on the radio. Yeah,
it has been on the radio.
What?
It has been on the radio, or it hasn't been on the radio?
No, I think it's going out on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
You know, in the show Fringe.
Yes. Well, I know.
You know when they run out. Do you remember when the screenwriters all went on strike?
Yes.
And then a year later, TV was shit for a year during things that were really good because
House went down to like 12 episodes or something. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and they were basically writing scripts using one of those predictive magic 8 balls. Yes. Shook it. There was a bit during Fringe where they had their alternative universe selves.
Yes, yeah, great, yeah. Like Walternate, right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think me on the radio not swearing is like a Leternate. it's Lee, but it's not Lee. It's me, but it's not me. So it'll probably be quite weird. That's it, really.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. Didn't swear.
Well, it's good. You sound in good spirits again. I'm very disappointed. I want you to be a bit more upset.
I've properly cheered up. Earlier, when we were marching down off the hill into Bristol, we were a couple of miles from Bristol, and Gaz and Lady Garden were watching me basically death march like times a million. I was nodding off while I was walking. I was such a mess. The sun started going down and my brain went, oh, night time. And then that was it. So tired. I could hardly talk. And I've kind of perked up a little bit now since I've had a bit of food and a bit of a rest. And now I've got a few more miles to do on a canal path. But you're up and down, aren't you? You know, what's the phrase? If during 1 year being out on the trails you feel good, don't worry, it'll pass. But yeah, I'm in pretty good spirits. It's been another day of adventures. You know, we've had bullets fly, we've had a Lucozade problem. Again, it's been a microcosm of the world as a whole, hasn't it? Really?
Yeah, exactly. Well, so you're still looking for do-badder help, so as many do-badders can come out to the course as possible. Like you say, that's brilliant with the tracking, so it makes it really easy for people to...
it also makes it immensely creepy. Because
picture people just stepping out from behind a tree, go, hello, Lee. Yeah. You're like, who the fuck are you?
I could be in a remote location and do stuff like, I don't know, just be having a massive wee and enjoying the view. And of course, someone will just come up directly behind me and go, hello, and it just scare you to death. So it is also quite creepy. But it's great. And if people, if they want to, no one wants to.
Well, we could ultimately prank you, couldn't we? So we could share your tracker with some sort of sexual role-playing group. Who,
if it was me.
Think, there's this person pretending to be a vulnerable hiker who wants to play sexy games. Just creep up on him, do what you want with him. He will pretend to struggle, that type of thing.
Here's what I would do. This is why Tom Walker's an amateur. He went out and put some hilarious messages on some styles for 13 miles, right? And it was funny, and every time I got to one, it made me chuckle. If Tom was out doing this, I would go and hire the biggest van lorry I could find, and then I'd message all the do-badders off the grid and say, I need all of your junk, all of it. And then we would find a section he's coming through and just fill the section with junk. Just completely block the trail with random shit, but with a little post-it note on each one going, oh, fucking hell, that's annoying. I bet you that winds you right up. And just have a huge pile of stuff just in the way, you know? And just do stuff like that. But so please, everybody, do that. That would really help.
If I was in that same situation, I'd remove all the Monarchs Way stickers.
You don't have to do that because plenty of locals do that anyway. Kieran and I went through a part of the Cotswolds the other night, and we came to a bit where the book says, and then you cross the thing, you go through the gate, and then you're in Lower Slaughter. And there was just this whacking great fence in the way. And Kieran went, oh, that's weird. I don't know what to do. And I look on my phone and I've got no notes for it being difficult. And I said to Kieran, I've just walked through here on the race and in my recce with no problem at all. So we both look at it and scratch our heads. So basically, John has gone through a couple of weeks ago just to check up on the trail. And whoever it is that lives in that little bit has seen John walking through a route that hardly everyone walks. So he's gone out and got a load of fence posts and just completely blocked it. So it was brand new. So Kieran and I are standing at these fence posts, and I've messaged John live. I've sent him a message with a photo going, was that how it was 3 weeks ago? And John's like, no, that's not how it was 3 weeks ago. So, you do get pranked live on the Monarchs Way where they actively go out and block it. There's a bit, it's not, believe it or not, it's not a crotch problem, but there's a bit in the centre of Birmingham called Ham Dingle. And Ham Dingle is this ridiculously steep and immensely dangerous gorge through the middle of this little housing estate. And it would have these Ewok village walkways with 400-foot drops off the side and really ropey, rotten handrails. And last year when I went through it, I remember thinking, this is so dangerous. If you just slip here, you'd just fall like Luke Skywalker through a Death Star.
Yeah.
And so we got there this year, and I think you saw the photo on the Facebook group. We come around the corner, Jason and I. There's a whacking great metal grill across the entire entrance to Ham Dingle, just closed, and that's that. So yeah, love it when you get stuff like that. It's hilarious. Bless.
That's amazing. So
so what you got for the weekend? What you got coming up for the weekend, Jody? What are you up to?
I am going to. So Libby's going out to see 42nd Street in London with Dawes.
Ooh.
So I am going to be doing some hardcore. Oh, actually, we're going to go and see. Me and Hugo are going to go and see Julia Donaldson at a book signing at Stenning Bookshop.
Oh my God!
I know.
Middle class.
It's middle class.
Who does
isn't
that?
it?
Why can't you go kick a ball around with the poor bastard?
No.
Why can't you be a proper dad, not an abusive father?
Yeah, well, possibly.
Oh my! We are going to a book signing, isn't it? And I don't even care. Go kick a ball with the poor guy, for God's sake.
No. Julia Donaldson's a children's writer. It's children's books. He likes Julia Donaldson books. I mean, he doesn't realise that she's responsible for it, but he will appreciate that in time.
Right.
So that's what we're doing. We'll go and play like football, go to the park, that sort of thing. Just like standard stuff. Sunday, probably do a nice little long run.
Sort of long run. So anything up to 2 weeks, or
I was thinking, I'd just maybe like 18 miles or something like that. Just something, just to ease into it. Just to like, So I'm actually, so I can feel a little bit of solidarity with you. A little bit of solidarity.
Totally.
I'll make sure that I'll try and get arrested by police, and I will.
I wasn't arrested, and they weren't police.
No.
Well, they were sort of police.
Yeah, I don't think they're the type to arrest people, though. I think it's basically the only time. They never have.
No, I don't. We need to check with certain do-badders who incredibly are police officers. Which never ceases to blow my mind. You remember our famous face planter from the South Downs Way. I think the only reason he's won is because he's 6'8" and just passed the test in the 70s when he was born. But I'm not sure that they have the right of arrest either. I think they only have the right to shoot on sight with no repercussions. And it's a subtle difference, but it is an important one to understand. Hopefully no more of them, because they're not that much fun, if I'm honest. They shout a lot.
Yeah, I've got a difficult weekend coming up. You're going to have a difficult weekend because you're going to have to, if you want to make it to the South Downs Way 50, high-fiving people, you're going to have to do one incredible stretch tomorrow.
I know.
In order to get there in time.
I told you it'd be my long day. What I thought I'd do is, I'm doing 45, 50 miles a day. All I've got to do is sort of get my head down a bit more, maybe just walk a little bit more each day, and maybe just smash out like a cheeky 250-mile day, and then we're much further along, aren't we?
Yeah. I think that'd be good.
Just run a bit faster.
Yeah. So let's end on this note. So what is the cutoff for you, basically, based on when you started and getting it done within was it 42?
For a guy
days?
of my age, my postcode, it would be 2056 is my life expectancy. So, I got the rest of my life. We can get this done. What was it? Yeah.
You wanted to do it in 2 weeks. Your aim was 2 weeks, wasn't it?
My aim was 2 weeks.
And so where does that take us to? That takes us to...
2 weeks takes us to the Thursday next week.
A
week today, because, we're a week in. We're doing Vordermass. Except I have an excuse for doing Vordermass and you do not.
Oh, yeah. It is only Thursday, isn't it?
Well done. Brilliant.
Oh,
so
I'm a bit tired. I've got to admit, I'm a bit tired. I got out of bed at like 20 to 9 this morning. I was got up a bit.
Terrible.
Yeah. So next Thursday is your goal to be in Brighton on Thursday. I want to make sure. I'll make sure I'm there. That's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen for two reasons. One, because I'm not as good as I think I am, and I can't begin to tell you how low a baseline that is, and yet I'm still not even that good. And also because every time I bang out some mileage, the fucking course gets longer because you find out more discrepancies. So
So you reckon it's going to add like another 3 days or more than that?
I think it's going to add 2 days.
So
I reckon there's 2 whole days of mileage I didn't know that was there.
Oh, you're going to hit Brian at the weekend, which is going to be perfect.
Yeah. I tell you what, there is nothing easier on a Saturday or Sunday when you've been out for a bit of a walk and you're a little bit tired than trying to work your way along the 4 miles of seafront at Brighton towards Shoreham.
Oh, that's going to be brilliant.
Oh, we have to pace it just right so that I'm trying to go along Brighton to Shoreham at lunchtime on a Sunday when the sun's out. It'll be worth videoing. It'll be the greatest moment of all human history.
Well, I'll be running.
Guy who smells.
I'll be running the opposite way.
Yeah. Oh, imagine. I'm trying to go against the flow of like 20,000 runners, and there's just this guy with orange smeared around his face and Lucozade head, just shouting abuse at people. It's completely feral.
Like Father Jack type situation. Yeah.
It's how I feel. It's so. When we were in Bromsgrove, we went to that. Stratford, and we went to the Premier Inn for breakfast. You know when you help yourself. Well, you don't know because you're a vegan. So imagine a yogurt bar, but instead of yogurt, there's nice things. When you're supposed to help yourself to hash browns and stuff, they've got the nice tongs or the little spoon. I'd been out in the wild for 3 days, and I grabbed the hash browns with my hands like a chimpanzee. That was embarrassing. It's amazing how quickly you go feral. Oh, I'm an animal.
Amazing.
That's it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Why don't you give me a call? Oh, you've just come back from the toilet, haven't you? I've been talking to myself for about 20 minutes.
It's a radio. It's a trick of radio. Absolutely.
Oh, amazing. Oh. Absolutely. So, so Mendips, then the loop from hell. The good news is that when I hit the coast at Devon, at Charmouth, it's the end of book 2.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm going to treat myself to a little B&B and have a proper night's sleep in a bed like we did at Stratford. So yeah, that's quite cool. And also, quite cool, bragging rights, I started in Worcester and I went to the Devon coastline on foot. I mean, that's not a statement many people make, is it?
No.
Do you remember that time I went from Worcester to Devon on foot? So that's that. And then once I'm out of the loop, it's heading towards Salisbury. And obviously there's no issues with Salisbury at the moment with flooding, but there is some overcheck everywhere. So no doubt I will stumble into Salisbury about the time they're looking for a guy with a beard with suspicious white powder. It's talcum powder over it. So I'll probably get SO19 sharp and I'll be like, I know how this all works. Hang on. So that's Salisbury, and then it's on towards Winchester, which is obviously the birthplace of various kings, the capital city of the UK until the 1200s, and the birthplace of David Hillard. Is this the year they change it to Hillardchester, or he's been telling me for the last... He said to me, because I always point out to him that when Danny Kendall did Fastest Brit MDS, they changed that place in the Peak District to his name, didn't they? Kendall. They named it after him in his honour.
Gave him a cake and everything, didn't they?
Yeah. No one's ever. Yeah. And I've always said to David, why is no one's created a Hillard, town in your honour.
But they painted a postbox there pink in honour of him. Yes,
it's quite random.
Well, like the Olympics, didn't they? They put post boxes. They post, in the towns of the Olympic gold medalists, they painted gold. But for Hillard, they painted one post box on an industrial estate pink.
Hang on a second. So when an athlete at the peak of their game, who is the fastest or the greatest at what they do, achieves the pinnacle in the world against everybody else in the world of a gold medal at the Olympics, to honour them, we paint a symbol of the UK Postal Service gold, which is a pinnacle of the ability to lose shit, not care,
and deal drugs on the side.
Yeah, a company.
Dropping off the. So a bit dropping off the call there.
No, it's all right.
I ran out of credit.
That's fine. And obviously we said a funny thing before you pressed the record.
Well,
but I have about a 4-second memory now, so I don't know what we said.
No. I said it would be very funny if then I called you back and pretended that we hadn't had the previous conversation because you were so tired and you'd imagined it all, and then just started asking you from the start. But I don't want to go through it again, so I don't want to do that.
No, I don't want to either.
I'm slightly disappointed with all of this. I'm slightly disappointed that this isn't more painful for you. I'm sure it is painful. I'm sure your feet are disgusting, and I'm sure you're tired and everything. But you were really suffering before, and you don't seem to be suffering as much now. I wonder if I'm going to put out a call to do-badders to just not turn up.
Yeah, you could do that. Maybe play some mind games for a couple of days. See how that goes.
Yeah. Oh well, you seem to be getting on well. I'm very pleased. It looks like I think. You're going to do this, aren't you? You're going to do it this time.
Do you know what? It's become it's the catchphrase in my life. It's holy shit, I might actually pull this off. Holy fucking crap. But yeah, holy fucking crap, I might actually pull this off. Which is glorious because we're on a humble pie rev counter, aren't we? that tracker. That little dot moving its way around the intestines of the UK is a humble pie meter.
Yeah.
And the closer it gets to Shoreham, the bigger the humble pie gets.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie to you, it's such an amazing motivator. It is. It really is. Every time that, there's times you're like, I've got to dig deep, or you've got to dig really deep, or, you've got to put your favourite song on, or you going to have to do that out-of-body thing you do where you go out of your body because your organs are shutting down on an ultra and suddenly the pain stops and you hear classical music in your head and you can look down on your body. I think sometimes just feeling so aggrieved by somebody's behaviour that the opportunity to win a small argument on a Facebook group by going and walking for 2 or 3 weeks is actually worth it. And how petty is that? I mean,
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong. To feel the hate and the anger coursing through your veins is a great motivator.
Yeah. I've always loved the bad Star Wars lot. They're far better. They have better outfits. They have better colour lightsabers, and they're the cooler ones.
Absolutely.
All the good ones get killed.
When there is called? When there's hate, there is fear. When there is fear, does fear bring suffering? Excellent.
No, beer leads to beer leads to. Hang on, let me get this right. It's the do better way, isn't it? Hang on.
Beer leads to beer. Beer leads to falling asleep and missing a race. Missing a race leads to legendary status.
Oh my God! Imagine if do-badders did the Force. Imagine what a shit universe system kind of thing it would be, Well, what can you do with the Force? Oh, watch it. If I concentrate really hard, I can get rid of someone's hangover for me. But I can't lift ships and move stuff, but I can get rid of a hangover. I can also clean up sick with my hand like that. That's pretty much all I can do.
Yeah, if the do-badders were in charge of the Force, that Death Star would just always be like a quarter finished, wouldn't it? It would just be it's not for. Sorry. No, it's not.
No, sorry,
Emperor Hellard. It's never going to be operational.
Yeah, it would be a massive Death Star Kickstarter campaign that looks epic, right? Like, absolutely epic. But then the problem is the universe has then got 20,000 Death Stars all sitting in orbit and no one buying them. And you're like, oh Christ, they're everywhere. They're literally everywhere. Like camel toes in the space. It would just be, it'd be terrifying. Oh, I need more sleep. Everything's funny at the moment.
You go and have a nice sleep now, because I'm going to go and lie in my bed now.
I can sleep in a couple of hours. In a couple of hours I get to my destination, I can have a little sleep. How good's that?
Oh, that's great. All right then, man. Good to speak to you.
Let's talk in a couple of days, catch up.
All right, man.
I want to know how your weekend's gone.
Oh, thanks.
I want to hear what flavour hummus your middle-class son's into this week.
Oh, okay.
It's exciting stuff. It's exciting.
Yeah. Oh, well, I hopefully they'll have the extra virgin olive oil hummus as opposed to the red pepper hummus, which I'm never a big fan of. Never a big fan of that one. But sometimes the other one sells out. So I'll let you know how I get on with that.
Absolutely.
See you later, man.
Thank you, buddy. Bye.